Mazi was a rich man. Everybody respected him. He had money, but more than that, he had a kind heart. In Umuroko Town, no one stayed hungry when he was around. Every Christmas, he shared rice, chicken, oil, and money from house to house. People prayed for him because he helped everyone. Then one day, Mazi did something that made the whole town open their mouths in shock. He married two women, the same day, the same time. The town was full of noise and joy. Drums beat loudly, goats were killed, pots of food were everywhere. Palm wine and drinks flowed like water. Men ate until they loosened their wrappers. Women packed food to take home. Even many years later, old women still sat under the mango tree and said, that wedding was not a small wedding. It was like a festival. The two wives were very beautiful. Their names were Maria and Simbi. They were both tall, fair, and fine, like people carved from wood by a careful hand. When they walked together, people turned to look at them. Some even thought they were sisters. But inside, they were not the same. Maria was calm and gentle. She spoke softly and did not look for trouble. Simbi was proud and hot-tempered. Her mouth was sharp. Her eyes could burn like fire when she was angry. On the wedding day, Mazi stood before the elders and said, I have done what no man has done before. I want peace in my house. Then he gave both women rules. You will cook together. You will eat together. You will wear the same cloth when you go out. At first, it worked. The women followed the rules. They smiled outside. They walked side by side. People whispered, how is this man keeping peace between two wives like this? But the truth was hiding under the mat. Mazi did not marry them because he loved them. Before the marriage, Maria and Simbi were best friends. They laughed together. They fetched water together. They sat together in the moonlight and talked like women who would never fight. But there was another woman with them. Her name was Hope. Hope was dark, tall, and very beautiful in a quiet way. She was not noisy, but anybody who saw her remembered her. Mazi truly loved Hope. He bought her wrappers, beads, food, and bags. He treated her like a queen. But Hope had a kind heart, so she shared those gifts with Maria and Simbi. At first, the two friends were happy for her. Then jealousy entered their hearts little by little. One day, Simbi said in a low voice, so this is how Hope will leave us behind. Maria looked away, but the bad thought had already entered her too. Then both of them went to meet Mazi in secret. They lied to him. They told him, Hope cannot give birth. They said, she has done 7 abortions. They said, her womb is spoiled. Mazi was shocked. He was confused. He loved Hope, but their words entered his mind like a nail entering wood. Simbi asked him, what man will marry a woman who cannot give him children? Maria added softly, think well, Mazi. That question sat in his heart and spoiled everything. At last he said, if I cannot marry Hope, then I will marry both of you. The two women agreed quickly. After all, they were best friends. They thought nothing could spoil their happiness. But trouble had already started walking toward them. After the marriage, life looked sweet. Mazi gave them fine things. Money was flowing. The compound was full of comfort. They dressed well. They ate well. They lived like queens. Anybody looking from outside would think peace had built a home there. Then 2 months later, Maria got pregnant. Mazi was full of joy. He smiled all day. He told Maria, do not do hard work. Rest well. Take care of yourself and my child. He gave her special food. He watched her closely. He spoke to her with softness. But every little kindness he showed Maria cut Simbi's heart like a knife. When Maria smiled, Simbi became angry. When Mazi asked Maria if she had eaten, Simbi felt fire inside her chest. Jealousy now stood in the middle of the house like a tall, evil spirit. One morning, Simbi decided to begin her fight. She carried Mazi's favorite chair and put it inside the kitchen. Then she placed a pot of soup on top of it. When Mazi came and saw it, his face changed. "My chair?" he shouted. "My own chair in the kitchen? Simbi, what is the meaning of this?" Simbi did not shake. She pointed her finger and said, "It was Maria. I know nothing about it." Maria opened her mouth in shock. "Me? Why will I do that?" "Do not lie," Simbi snapped. The house became hot. Voices rose. Sharp words flew from one mouth to another. The peace Mazi had begged for began to break. He said angrily, "Both of you should clean that chair now." Then he stormed out. But that matter did not end there. Maria was gentle, yes, but she was not foolish, and she was not weak. She kept quiet, but her heart had started changing too. One day, Simbi cooked soup for Mazi. Before the food was served, Maria quietly entered the kitchen. She poured too much salt into the soup. Then, she dropped 2 big cockroaches inside. Later, Simbi served the food proudly. Mazi took 1 spoon. Then he spat it out at once. "What is this?" he shouted. "Do you want to kill me? Cockroach? In my food?" Simbi's hands began to shake. "I do not know how it entered there." "Enough!" Mazi roared. "Do not ever cook for me again!" Simbi stood like a tree hit by thunder. Then Maria quietly brought her own food and placed it before Mazi. Nobody said it, but something had now been born in that house. War. The fight between the 2 women kept growing. They no longer looked at each other with love. Their old friendship had died. The house that once looked like heaven now sounded like a place where peace had been buried. Then one bad morning came. Maria's pregnancy was still very young, barely 2 months. She stepped outside to get a rag, but Simbi had already placed a big stone on the ground where Maria would pass. Maria did not see it. Her leg hit the stone. She fell hard. Then blood came out. Too much blood. Maria screamed. The compound shook. "Mazi! Mazi!" people cried. Mazi ran in fear. When he saw the blood, his heart nearly stopped. He carried Maria and rushed her to the hospital. He waited there with fear all over his face. When the doctor came out, his words were heavy. "She has miscarried." For a moment, the world became quiet. Mazi was broken. The child he had been dreaming about was gone. When they returned home, his face was hard. He looked at both women and said, "Make peace. I will not tolerate this again. If this house does not have peace, none of you will like what will happen." But peace had already packed its load and left. Maria changed after that day. Her heart became hard like dry wood. She could not forget the blood. She could not forget the child she lost. She told herself, "I will not leave Simbi like this. She must pay." Then, one afternoon in the market, the 2 women met. Their eyes locked. Their anger rose. What started as words quickly became a fight. Not a small quarrel, not a small pushing of hands. It was a big, shameless fight. They dragged wrappers. They pulled hair. They rolled on the ground. Market women shouted, "Separate them! Separate them!" But anger had closed their ears. Then, in the middle of the fight, Simbi shouted with a loud voice, "Were you not the one that said we should seduce Mazi?" At once, everywhere became quiet. Even the market air looked like it stopped moving. Women covered their mouths. Men moved closer. The traders began to whisper. "Them? Seduce? Mazi? So it was all planned? The lie about hope was true? The hidden truth had now fallen in the open market like a broken pot. Nothing could cover it again. Before the sun went down, the whole town had heard the story. By the time Mazi returned home, shame was waiting for him at the gate. People were already talking. The man who once looked strong before the town now felt small inside. When Maria and Simbi entered the compound, he did not shout. He did not ask many questions. He did not even argue. He only said, "Carry your bags and leave my house." The women froze. Simbi tried to speak, but Mazi raised his hand. "Go," he said quietly. Then he added, "They cannot give me a child." And just like that, it ended. The house that started with drums and celebration ended in silence and disgrace. After some time, Mazi went back to hope. This time, he did not go with pride. He went with regret. He stood before her and apologized. He told her the truth. He told her he had been foolish. He rebuilt her father's house to show that his heart was truly sorry. Then he asked again for her hand in marriage. Hope looked at him for a long time. She remembered the pain. She remembered the shame. But her heart was kind. She accepted him. Later, Hope gave birth to two strong boys, healthy boys, beautiful boys. Then everybody knew the truth at last. The woman they called barren was not barren. It was lies that destroyed her chance before. As for Maria and Simbi, their story became a bad lesson in Umuroko Town. The two women who were once best friends became worst enemies. Whenever they saw each other on the road, they fought. People no longer admired them. People no longer wanted to stand near them. The same mouths that once praised their beauty now used them as a warning. Mothers told their daughters, "Do not let jealousy enter your heart." Old women said, "A small bad thought can burn a whole life." And so the story of Maria and Simbi remained in Umuroko Town like a mark that could not be washed away. Jealousy started like a whisper, but in the end, it destroyed friendship, marriage, children, and peace. I hope you enjoyed the story. If so, please like the video, comment what you learned from the tale, share with friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more African folk tales just like this one. Thank you.